The Battle of Coruscant was at the time the largest space battle seen in Star Wars, and to this day is one of my favorite battles in the entire franchise. From the incredible visuals to the fun banter between Anakin and Obi-Wan, this battle has something for everyone. I'm Zach from the Five Nights Tavern, and today we're going to be talking about what went right with the Battle of Coruscant. Let's get started. First off, I want to talk about the opening shot of this battle. A lone Venator cruiser sails over Coruscant, with two small fighters flying across it. At first, things seem almost peaceful, a proverbial calm before the storm. But then, just as the fighters steer down and the camera pans, the battle is revealed in spectacular fashion. Honestly, this shot is still a sight to behold for me all these years later. Never before had we seen a space battle like this one, and one could argue that we really haven't gotten one since. What really makes this battle work for me is the actual sense of 3D here, with ships spread out not just parallel to each other like in other classic Star Wars battles, but above and below as well. The battle is also helped by a sense of chaos and desperation, as the fleets seem to be more entangled together rather than facing off in a more organized and traditional style, with a lot of ships engaging in essentially 1v1s against each other in desperate bids to survive and reorganize. Amidst all this chaos, our focus is centered squarely on those two small starfighters piloted by Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi as they weave their way through countless explosions and mountains of debris. If you're wondering why they weren't already participating in the battle, as it seems like it's been going on for quite some time, it's because they had just arrived as reinforcements to help turn the tide and rescue the kidnapped Chancellor Palpatine. Within the sea of massive starships, we prepare for a starfighter battle as the two Jedi are about to be swarmed by dozens of Vulture droids. Thankfully, they're backed up by a squadron of their own fighters, and as the fight erupts, we are treated to a really fun and chaotic sequence at a scale once again not really seen before like this. I really love Anakin and Obi-Wan's attitudes and banter here, as it's clear that Anakin is having a fun time and is often seen smiling as he picks off the droids. Meanwhile, Obi-Wan is clearly very uncomfortable, as he isn't really a fan of flying and is masking his discomfort with his trademark sass. This is really shown perfectly in the next sequence, as the duo must suddenly evade several missiles that have locked onto them, and while Anakin is shown to quickly and easily handle the ones on his tail with his classic spinning trick, Obi-Wan opts to let his droid R4 do the flying, and is subsequently hit by the missiles that release a swarm of buzz droids to rip his fighter apart. Now, before I go any further, I want to point out that in A New Hope, Obi-Wan called Anakin the best star pilot in the galaxy, and is widely considered to be just that. So with that being said, Anakin now has to figure out a way to take out those buzz droids currently tearing his friend's fighter apart. And what does this genius decide to do? He opens fire on Obi-Wan's ship. No, seriously, that was his first plan. I wonder sometimes if he considered launching a missile of his own at him first, but then clearly went with this better idea. Now, to be fair, he does manage to pick off a couple of them, but in the process he shoots off one of Obi-Wan's S-foils, further damaging the ship and freaking him out. Alright, so plan A has failed. Let's see what else Anakin can think of. Oh, I know. Let's ram into the buzz droids and crush them. If Obi-Wan wasn't scared for his life before, he sure is now. But somehow this plan actually works, taking out all but one of the droids that managed to crawl onto Anakin's ship, leaving R2 to have an epic face-off with this dangerous buzz droid. Thankfully, R2 is a badass and makes quick work of his unworthy foe, and the group is finally free to continue their mission. Later on in the battle, we get to see an awesome fight between a Venator and Grievous's command ship, the Invisible Hand, with the two engaging in a full-on broadside, slugging it out for survival. This scene, although short, is one of my favorites, as it really gives us an up-close look at how capital ships fight in Star Wars, harkening back to the age of sail and cannon to provide a more spectacular battle than what you would get if the ships were further apart shooting missiles at each other. This then leads into another fun sequence as Grievous's ship loses the fight and is sent falling towards the planet up top speed, while the crew has to quickly figure out a way to correct for the damage before it's too late. It's all just really fun stuff. The finale of this battle is just as spectacular as the rest, in my opinion. Here we get to see Mr. Greatest Star Pilot in the Galaxy get to once again prove his chops by trying to land the recently liberated Invisible Hand. Well, liberated is a bit of a strong word. More like they got stuck there while the rest of the Separatists abandoned ship. Now, to his credit, Anakin is probably the only one there that could land what's left of this thing. That is, of course, if we ignore R2. But things get even more out of hand as the ship suddenly splits in two, leaving Anakin with even less to work with. Not to worry though, as we are still flying half a ship, and Anakin is about to expertly maneuver his way onto a runway where he proceeds to only cause a fraction of the damage that he usually does when he crashes, lands the ship. Overall, I'd say that the Battle of Coruscant is one of my favorite battles in all of Star Wars, but what did you think of the battle? What did you like or dislike about the battle, and how would you have saved Obi-Wan? I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments down below. Be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and as always, cheers.